I can freeze this bug on my own. You're too slow, Kapaka.
Not Sonic.
Start. Intruders! Jag tar not to sit in my place. Sorry, I was just a Nazi. I had the power of the sun. The police are not just a religion of a small around.
Hello everyone and welcome to Virtual Reality Documentary. I will be explaining and asking questions related to virtual reality. What is virtual reality?
Virtual reality is a headset that you put on your face, and yeah, you can put apps and all that on there. You play games, and I think it's like basically it's going to be the next future. And yeah, it's like you're there in the real world. It's like you're actually there in the game, which I think is quite cool.
What my opinion on what virtual reality is that it's the creation. Virtual reality is like the creation of a virtual world that you can go into, whether it's seeing it or touching it or hearing it through as if you was actually there, and kind of stuff like that sort of thing.
Ask people for their thoughts about virtual reality so we know what they think about it. Now, here are responses from students and staff.
What's the concept behind virtual reality?
I think the concept is that, you know, people wear virtual reality headsets, and I think that the concept of it is just how amazing it is. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just you know, you wear a headset and then you play games, you look at space, you know, you do such stuff like that, and yeah, it's like really good.
When was virtual reality invented?
I was invented in like 1880 something. It's like, so I've got research back in the day, you know, back in the day, like on the document I've got research, so it's okay.
Who invented virtual reality?
It's me, innit?
Oh.
It's me.
How does virtual reality affect us?
It affects us by loads of things, because people, they do it in like hospitals and all that, doctors, like scientists, so they do all that.
They do
So,
on what? They do on what?
Oh, they just, you know, put a headset on and take out people's organs.
Do you mean ice
You know what I mean? Huh?
Do you mean ice train?
Ice train?
Ice
Yeah,
train.
it could be mean ice train. That's what I meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
That people wear them and get loads of headaches. And yeah, because I'm not really sure. I don't really understand the ethical issues of it. All I know that is I like to wear it. I even hit a door once, and you know, that's what I thought. So
Okay, Angela.
cool.
Thank you.
It's okay.
What's the idea behind virtual reality?
Virtual reality is, my opinion, basically the creation of a digital world that you can play around in and do whatever you like in, and all that sort of thing.
When was virtual reality invented?
When was virtual reality invented? I don't know, I'm guessing like 1930s or something like that, during that kind of era.
Go next. Who invented virtual reality?
Who invented it? I have no idea.
Okay.
That illusion's away from me.
How does virtual reality affect us?
How does it affect us? It affects us in a way because we can soon enough we'll be using it for everyday life, especially since there are simulations out there for real life situations, like doctors, the military, and all that sort of stuff.
Okay. The next thing is, what are the ethic? What do you think of ethical issue of virtual reality?
Ethical issues, it depends. It can depend, because if parents and that are using it and they can't look after their child, then obviously there's a issue behind that, because they will get confused between reality and what is real and that side of things. So it needs to be monitored.
Yeah, cool. Jordan,
Yeah.
what is virtual reality?
That's when like you can put like a headset on with some headphones, like you can see like an image, yeah, but it feels like you're actually there. It's real cool.
What's the idea behind virtual reality?
Don't know. I think it's just like to like make something like look really realistic, like make like more immersive and stuff.
When was virtual reality invented?
I don't know. I say like 1953 or some stuff like that. I don't know. Time ago. But I know that they kind of just like updated it.
Who invented virtual reality?
No idea.
Cool. How does virtual reality affect us?
It's like, it's just there, innit? Like it's important. Nah, it's not really important. It's just like it can be like for entertainment and stuff.
And what are the ethical issues of virtual reality?
I have no idea. Is that blessed?
Bang! Drops mic.
So what is virtual reality?
Like a simulation, like a realistic simulation. Yeah.
What is the idea behind it?
You give people like a simulated experience, like help them. I'd like to give them an experience of like stuff they can't do every day.
When was virtual reality invented?
1884,
Who invented virtual reality?
Colonel Mustard.
How does virtual reality affect
It doesn't personally. It doesn't affect me, but it can affect like people making it and people like doing it. Like can like cost a lot of money, makes a lot of money. Like it's sort of just like more financially it affects people than anything else.
What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
You can be like stuff you shouldn't be able to be. Like you can like be any animal and stuff like that. That's probably like some form of like law breaking somewhere. Yeah. That's about it.
Okay, cool.
Is it done?
What's virtual reality?
Virtual reality is like a simulated thing, normally on a headset.
Okay. What's the concept behind virtual reality?
It's like something. It's like a simulated, like I don't know, like a game or like an environment on a headset, I guess.
Okay. When was virtual reality invented?
I don't know.
Okay. Who invented virtual reality?
Andrew.
Okay. How does virtual reality affect us?
I don't know. I mean, it could make games and films better, I guess.
Okay. What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
I don't know. Like people could get like too involved with games and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is virtual reality?
Virtual reality is the idea of opening up a world or some sort of media to the actual 3D effect. so you actually experience it in a lot more detail.
What is the concept behind virtual reality?
The concept behind it is to kind of give you a better experience within games, as well as to train you without the risk of something going wrong.
When was virtual reality invented?
I think it was invented in around 1850.
Okay, who invented virtual reality?
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. How does virtual reality affect us?
It can affect us in good and bad ways. The good being it can help you to improve, but it can also be bad because it can actually take you away from the real life world.
Okay. What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
I think an ethical issue could be that people struggle to get on with a lot of the real life jobs, or as a friend called Andrew has experienced, walk into doors.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, George. Steve, what's virtual reality?
Virtual reality is like a computer system that they've made up where you can view everything sort of in like a 360-degree view of everything. So you can be sort of inside the computer program.
What is the concept behind virtual reality?
I think the concept behind virtual reality is so people can be totally and utterly immersed in the world, whether that be a game or a training simulator, or whether it's a you can put on your virtual reality headset and be on a desert island in the Caribbean. The concept is to total immersion.
When was virtual reality invented?
I really don't know. I know they came up in the late 18th century. Late 18th century, or late 19th century. They came up with sort of 3D sort of images. So I think that's the sort of forerunner. But I don't know when it was actually virtual reality was actually invented.
Okay. Then who invented virtual reality?
Pardon?
Who invented virtual reality?
Even though I've seen your notes, I can't remember.
Okay. How does virtual reality affect us?
I think it affects us now in the fact that everyone's quite excited about playing all these great games and being able to be totally immersed in them, but it hasn't actually happened yet. I can't sort of get my Xbox One and stick on virtual reality headset and play Skyrim or Fallout and be able to totally look around and move around. So it hasn't actually happened yet, but I think it will affect us loads.
What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
Ethical? Ooh. I don't know actually, but ethical. I think one of the problems will be people becoming totally addicted to the games, or the travel 360 things. I think they'll become totally addicted to them, and they'll have a little bit of a problem actually putting them down and continuing with real life. I think that's one of the problems.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Steve.
Someone going to ask me a question? Oh, you're going to ask?
Yeah, so what is virtual reality?
I think that virtual reality is a computer generated... Is it computer generated?
Yeah.
Yeah, computer generated, and it's where you can see a 300... Like, say, if this was a virtual reality video, like generated video, I'd say that you'd be able to see the whole 360 view of this classroom.
Yeah.
So you'd see you, George, Dennis, Andrew, and you'd be able to see the whole class.
Okay. What is the concept behind virtual reality?
Pardon?
What is the concept behind virtual reality?
Like I just said, where you can see the whole 360 view of the surroundings what are on the computer. So say if you was on what game would it be? Just say you was on Super Mario's. Is that okay to say?
Yeah.
Yeah. Say you was on Super Mario Bro, and then you could see like the mushrooms, you could see everything around you if you turn your head around.
Yeah. When was virtual reality invented?
1980s, in the 1980s.
Okay. Who invented virtual reality?
Morton Healing, is that his name?
Okay.
Him.
Good try. How does virtual reality affect us?
It doesn't really affect us in a way, it's just a computer generated system, but if you have sensitive eyes it could like affect your sight, if that makes sense, because when I used a virtual reality headset it made me feel really dizzy.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on it, and I don't think it's that great, to be honest.
Okay.
Is there any other questions?
What are ethical issues with virtual reality?
What does that mean?
It means something. What are ethical issues? How does it affect people?
Any problems?
Oh, like I just said, like my problems with the virtual reality is it gives me headaches, and I don't think it's that great. There's nothing really to write home about, is there, for virtual reality? Is that the only questions?
Yeah, that's all.
Right, thank you.
What is virtual reality?
In my opinion, virtual reality is a form of, like, it's another world basically, but it's over the internet.
Oh, okay. What is the concept behind virtual reality?
I think it's to feel like you're somewhere else, which isn't where you literally are. I think that's what the concept is.
Why was virtual reality invented?
Well, I think obviously that people have named it virtual reality and made virtual reality, but I think when virtual reality really begun was when animals and people became self-aware, or no, before they were self-aware. So I don't know, say if a bird was to see its reflection in the water of like a lake or stream or whatever, then they might think, oh, there's another creature in there that looks just like me, but they might not be aware of that. So maybe that's when it first started, unconsciously.
Okay, who invented virtual reality?
Well, I don't know literally who I don't know quite literally who came up with the name and the concept and stuff, but in regards to what I just said, I suppose we naturally kind of evolved from it a little bit, into it maybe. I don't really know.
Okay, how does virtual reality affect us?
It affects us because it makes us question a psychological side of humanity, and that can be quite confusing, I suppose, at times, if you get too far into it.
What are ethical issues in virtual reality?
I think in terms of the virtual reality that we have today, so like headsets and stuff, that they're being used with gaming, they can be quite dangerous. But then again, in terms of like other things, so like psychological research, I think is quite a good thing to have, because it's good to be able to learn from what we have and to be able to experiment from it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your thoughts in virtual reality. Now it is time to explain to you what virtual reality is. Okay, let's begin. So I will start first. The definition of virtual reality comes from virtual and reality. The definition virtual basically means near, and reality is what we experience as human beings. Virtual reality means near reality. This could mean anything, but usually refers to a specific type of reality emulation. Next will be Dr. Barker, Door of Ice, is next to explain why was virtual reality invented. Hello everybody, I am going to talk about when was virtual reality invented. Virtual reality basically came to the public application in the late 1980s and 1990s. Virtual reality can be attributed to pioneer computer scientist Jaron Lanier, who had introduced to the world in 1987 to the term virtual reality. Next is Rahul, that he'll be explaining who invented virtual reality. Okay guys, now we will explain who invented virtual reality. Basically, more than one person got involved in the development of technological systems, but the real of virtual experiences than the person who invented virtual reality is Morton Healy.
Morton Leonard Hellig was born in the 22nd of December 1926, a thought leader in virtual reality. He had applied his cinematographer experience with the help of his partner that has helped develop the Sensorama over several years, from 1957, patenting the Sensorama in 1962.
Sensorama was big, bulky and shaped like the 1980s-ish. The Sensorama was quite impressive for the 1960s technology. The game gave the players the experience of riding a motorcycle on the streets of Brooklyn. The player felt the wind on their face, the vibration of the motorcycle seats, a 3D view and even smells of the city.
Morton wanted to create Cinema Future, but the Sensorama was doomed because of the high prices of the filmmaking. The reason why Sensorama was doomed because the business community just could not figure out how to sell Sensorama. Morton was not able to make money necessary to produce new tri-dimensional films gained with three 35mm cameras mounted on the cameraman.
As a result, Morton was buried at Eden Memorial Park Cemetery in Mission Hill, Los Angeles in California, United States of America, in 14th of May 1997. Thank you guys for talking about who invented virtual reality and for explaining Morton Eric's history. Now, I will say how does virtual reality affect us? Virtual reality is an influence upon our lives and is not likely to cause problems. Virtual reality is a form of technology which is developing all the time, and as a result, virtual reality can throw up problems which had not been considered. There are physical problems, which are ergonomics, and there are psychological issues. There are moral and ethical concerns about this technology, which are discussed in greater detail in virtual reality and ethical issues section. Now, Liwa will explain the ethical wishes for virtual reality. Thank you for explaining how does virtual reality affect us. Now, we are going to explain the ethical issue about virtual reality. There are issues to virtual environments that have to be addressed. Basically, the ethical issues are related to human behavior and motivation and include concern for gaming industry. Ethical issue includes desensitization and virtual criminality. Now, we will explain about virtual criminality. That means virtual crime.
First, I will explain about virtual criminality. Virtual criminality is based on virtual crime, which lies within the word virtual itself. It has become increasingly devoid of meaning. Virtual crimes become narrow definition, which might equate virtual crimes with cybercrime. That is, defining cybercrimes as crime committed against a computer. Computer can be utilized in the furtherance of criminal conduct. There are many states and federal statutes that expressly criminalize types of conduct involving the computer network. This is an example of the virtual copyright infringers spend jail time in your penitentiaries. There is a risk of conflating the actual with the virtual. The reason is because doing this makes virtual computer crimes seem less serious than real crimes. Next, I will explain about desensitization. Desensitization means that people become less sensitive and they are no longer affected by extreme acts of behavior, for example violence, and fails to show empathy or compassion. Some situations they seek out this type of scenario for a real adrenaline rush and sense of power.
So, what is virtual reality?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
Nothing?
No.
That's fine, eh?
Alright.
Yeah, so answered your question. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Oh shit!
Andrew!
I fucking flopped! It's okay, Wait, how did that, did you stop it?
I was in agony. Sorry.
What was that?
It's a fly.
A fly, oh right!
Thank you for watching the history of virtual reality documentary. You are very admirable. At the beginning of this year, I was in agony. I realized that the more I work hard, the worse it gets. I was 46 last year when I did the level 2 course in IT, and I could not stop worrying. I can't breathe. I was haunted by some people that I should have never been working with. So how's everything going? Are you going to be okay? At any rate, during this course I've tried my best to stop worrying and try to be happy for all I've done so far. I produced this documentary because I brought all dreams I have made me to be what I am. Since when I've dedicated to study media level 2. Until now, I had passion with you all. I brought everyone's dream which make me happier. I was worried since last year when I did the level 2 course and in IT, and I could not stop worrying. I can't breathe. I was haunted by some people that I should have never been working with. So how's everything going? Are you going to be okay? At any rate, during this course, I try my best to stop worrying and try to be happy for all I've done so far. I produced this documentary because I brought all the dreams that have made me to be what I am since when I've dedicated to study media level 2. Until now, I had passion with you all. I brought everyone's dreams, which makes me happier, and I found the enthusiasm the one I've lost last year. I have also been able to enjoy myself, and my doubts disappeared. My mind is free when I edited the story of virtual reality documentary. I'm sure you'll understand how I felt when I've been editing and producing the documentary. All you must know is that you are a good friends that you made me enjoy with you all. It was very beautiful and wonderful because it gave me countless memories. The documentary is finished. Luckily, you ended all right. I'm sure the others have finished their final major project before the deadline, and we will. Yeah, if you mind, include a bloop and an interview test. See you soon and have a great time. Goodbye for now, and thank you.
Nothing important.